Sorry, guys, I just started and I can see two Dr. Anjus. That's fine, right?
It's okay. Wherever you hear, that is sufficient. So to understand, now I'm starting again, not from the start, from where I left. So to understand lifespan development. So lifespan development, why do we have to understand? Again, I told you to predict the behavior or the psychology or the other factors of a person in later life. So suppose we see 2, 3 kids in the childhood and they fight with each other. So we learn their lifespan development to know whether they will fight in when they are adult or not. Such kind of things. So for that purpose, we learn the lifespan development or lifespan psychology. So, and also like by education, like what we do, the career counseling, that is also based on lifespan psychology only. So like how is the psychology of that person at that particular age? So when they grow up, what will be the better career perspective or prospects for them? So that is the reason why we read the lifespan psychology and lifespan development psychology. So it's the process in which the progression initiates with the birth and it ends at death. So when we try to understand why the lifespan development happens, what causes the lifespan development? Why is the development happening at all? So we see that there are 4 interactive forces that combine to shape how a person will develop in its own life. So first is biological forces, means your genes, your health related factors, they develop the development of a child. They will help or they will influence the development of a child or an adult or anything, or even like puberty, that is depending on your genes. Not every person gets puberty or menopause at the same age. Same way, like your facial expressions changes for different person. It is also biological factor. Also, not only genes, it is other health factor also, like how healthy is your liver, how healthy is your kidney, how healthy is your, or what is the condition of your heart or your brain or something like that. So these all biological and genetic factors. These are the very, very important forces which causes the development of the person. Then is psychological forces, like their perceptions, how they see the world around, their cognitive, their emotional and personality factors. They also affect the development of a person. Like intelligence. Intelligence is something you are born with or something you develop psychologically. So self-confidence, honesty, self-esteem. These are all psychological factors that affect the development of a person. Next factors are socio-cultural factors, like interpersonal relationships, societal relationships, cultural relationships, ethical factors. These all things affect, like different culture, obviously development will be different. Different society development will be lower society, higher society, different socio-economic society. They all have different socio-cultural forces. So that's why development also will be different. Same way, family, peers, co-workers, friends, these also come in socio-cultural factors. Same way, like you see that poverty. In poverty, obviously, development is very different than in a non-poverty situation. Not only physical development, psychological development, cognitive development, everything is different. So next is life cycle forces, like uh, something which happens in your duration of life cycle. Suppose there is like loss of some dear person, near and dear person. So then the development changes from there, that person, that point onward, because the loss is not taken same way by 2 individuals. So some kind of life cycle forces, the what happens, the circumstances or the instances which happen in a person's life, that also affects the development of that person. Okay, so these are the various forces which cause the development in the life. So what are the issue in the lifespan development? The common issues or common problems or common debates, what we can say is these only: continuity and discontinuity, stability and change, nature versus nurture. So I'll tell you what it is. So what debate people who are studying lifespan development psychology, they do. That first is continuity or non-continuity. Means some people say that development is having same speed and throughout the life, it happens at the same speed. जैसे कि like you are riding a motorcycle at same speed throughout the duration of your journey. It's kind of cruise mode of life cycle development. Sorry. So it is kind of that is continuity. So you ride at the same speed, you fix at that speed and development will occur. So that is what continuity people say. Discontinuity people say, no, it is not like that. Some places you develop more, some places you develop less. Some development is seen, so you know that they are developing more. So that's why debate is on. See, obviously you can say that what development happens in childhood that does not happen in adulthood. This you can see as physical development, so you can say. But discontinuity people say that even if you are not seeing the physical development happening in the adulthood, but still there is maturation happening. Still there is some psychological and some other development happening. So you cannot say that it is discontinued or the speed of the development has reduced. So that is one debate. Like development is not only what you see as physical. There is changes in the behavior, in the skill or the knowledge. That is also happening. So that is one debate which is happening. Second debate is stability and change. Suppose there is some development happened. A person became shy. So whether this shyness will continue or whether it is going to stop or whether it will change with further development. So like whatever development happened, which whether it will be stable throughout the rest of the life or whether it will change. That is next debate. So does a behavior or a trait which has developed inside the person, will it change further or not? That is another debate. And the most common debate we know is nature versus nurture. Like most people say that whatever a person is, his personality, character, nature, and the speed of development, this all depends on the nature, means the biological factor or the genetic factor. Whereas other people say that environment plays a major role and the nurture helps or the guides in which direction the development will go, and also what will be the speed of development. So this is another debate. So these are the issues. Now, when we talk about the stages of development, so we have divided total lifespan into various stages. One is prenatal period, means from conception, from the time of fertilization till delivery is the prenatal period. Development occurs in that phase. Then there is next infancy and toddlerhood, like birth to age 3. Then there is preschool period, age 3 to 6. Then middle childhood period, 6 to 12. Adolescent period, 12 to 20. Then young adulthood, 20 to 40. Then middle adulthood, 40 to 65. And late adulthood, after 65 till your death. So these are the various stages of development, and different things happen in the different stages of development. Like what is happening in the prenatal period obviously will not happen in the preschool period. Same way, in different age group, different types of things happen. That's why they are divided according to their stages. Like you can read that in this stage, this kind of development you can expect, or in this age, this kind of development and growth you can expect. So accordingly, they are divided into different stages of development. Now, what are the domains of human development? Means in which all directions the development occurs. So one is physical domain. Here the humans grow physically, means they become tall, they become fat, they become even short sometimes, like they become tall in the first half of the life and slowly they become short in height in second half of the life. So these are all physical changes. Kids develop usually in like longitudinally, but nowadays kids are developing like in y-axis also, not only in x-axis. So yeah, so these are physical domains. They grow physically, their face changes, their height, weight, their internal organs, things. These are physical domain of the development. Next is psychological domain, means they start adjusting to self, adjusting to peers, adjusting to people they meet, and they start adjusting to the environment. So that is psychological domain of the development. So the basic is adjustment. The child grows up to learn how to eat. First of all, they learn how to ingest food, means they should open the mouth to take the food. Then they should know how to chew food. They learn this to chew food. Slowly they learn to eat on their own, means hand-mouth coordination starts. They should know when to do the excretion. They do at childhood whenever they want, as in pant or something. Slowly they learn when to hold the excretion, when to go to washroom, and all these are also psychological domain of development only. Next is cognitive domain. Here they focus on learning, means they get as much of knowledge. It's not only in childhood, also in adulthood. We get as much of knowledge as we want, so that we want to keep it in memory, and then we want to reproduce when needed. So that is learning, attention, perception, and memory. These things are the cognitive domain of development. So slowly the learning, how it was slow learning starting, slowly we learned how to learn. That is also development, how to learn, how to give attention, what is more needed for attention, what is our priority for attention, like that. Perception, even without people talking, we know what are they going to tell. So those are also perception. Memory means you have to remember what I learned, and some things you forget because you didn't think it is important. So what thing you have to filter out, what you want to remember, what you don't want to remember. Although it doesn't work like that, because we all want to remember the answer to our questions, but we don't. So, but still we try hard. The trying hard is also cognitive domain of the development. Next is social domain, because human is a social animal. So obviously we have to develop socially also, how to do the adjustment to the people, how to tolerate people who criticize us, how to not get swayed by the good compliments we get, and how to right ways of interactions, how to not get angry, how to get angry. Like you see on the road, if two cars, they touch each other, even the one person or other person knows that it was my fault, still they come to fight, because they have learned this is the way of interaction in our country. If you fight, you will get money. So that's why even if they know that they are at fault, they will come and fight. That is social domain of the development. They have seen such things in the society, so they learn that. So what are the characteristics of lifespan development? Means what are the characteristics of development happening in the life? So they are like, how do you know that this is development? How do you know that development will happen this way? So for that, we should know the characteristic. If development is happening, it should happen this way. So that way of development is what? Lifelong development. Means development is not a short-term assignment. It's a lifelong course. If something is happening, it will happen throughout the life. Again, I told you that you cannot say that like it is my life, my rules. It is like your life, development rules. So throughout the life, development will keep happening, not necessarily in the direction you want it to happen, or anyone will predict in this direction it might develop, but somehow it will be developing. Maybe good or bad, maybe not in very steep speed or not very slow speed, maybe something. But development is a lifelong process, and whole life it will keep happening. That is one rule. Second is development is multi-dimensional. Means it is not happening only in one dimension. It is not happening only in the height and weight of the person. It is happening in physical dimension. It is happening in cognitive. It is happening in social. It is happening in emotional. It is happening in psychological, as I told. So development is multi-dimensional. Not only one dimension will keep developing, another dimension. It's not that you will become a tall, like 6 foot tall, and still you are thinking like a child of 2 years. No. So it is multi-dimensional. Development is multi-dimensional. Next is development is multi-directional. Direction is different than dimension. Dimension is social, physical, like that. Direction is not always in good direction. Not always height will grow tall. Sometimes it will not grow. It will become like that only. Some people are short. So it is multi-directional. It is not always a fixed path on which the development is going to happen. It's not always as you grow, you are going to understand how to interact with people. You may not learn how to interact with people. Some people are stupid. They don't understand how to talk with people. Yeah. So that is also one development. So that is called development is multi-directional. It will not follow a fixed path of development. If it was following the fixed path, in that case, every person would have been failed, because development is fixed means all person will develop to become something which is same. But it doesn't happen like that. That is called development is multi-directional. That's why we see people of different nature and different character and different types everywhere. Next is development is plastic. Now, don't think that more development means more plastic. Not that plastic. Here, the plasticity means variability, means it will change. Like today, you are in thinking this way. Tomorrow, you may think other way. Today, you are thinking that yeah, I should earn money at the cost of my spoiling my health. Tomorrow, you might think no, yeah, health is more important than earning money. So that is plastic. It varies in your life. And also, like if you, as I had told, I think in one class, that if one part of the brain is not working, other part becomes overactive. So there is one example given in our book that if you remove half of the brain from a child due to some reason, I mean, who sits and remove half of the brain? So obviously, as a treatment for epilepsy or for some reason, you remove the half of the brain of a child, the remaining half will take over those functions also. It will become hyperactive to work on those areas also, which is already removed. So that is plasticity, means it varies. So you would have thought that half brain nikal diya, now only half brain it will work, but it doesn't happen like that. So it changes. It does not remain stable. It changes. That is plasticity. Next is contextual. So contextual means how it happens, how the context comes, accordingly the development changes. Like someone who is in a rural area, they will develop according to that area. Someone who is in urban area, they will develop according to that area. So that is context. If context changes, the development of that person changes. Even the biology of that person changes. You have seen this, or I have told this earlier also, like children who are malnourished in the childhood, their facial structure is different. So even they grow up, you know that they were malnourished in the childhood. So biological makeup, physical environment, social, historical, cultural, these all things, they vary, and accordingly development also varies. So next is the development is multidisciplinary. Discipline bole to means different areas, different subjects of the study, that we can call it as discipline. Means you read medical, there also development is there. Healthcare, their development is there. Psychology, development is there. Sociology, development is there. Even law, development is there. Computer science, neuroscience, linguistics, anthropology. These are different subjects. So this development is not a one subject syllabus. It's multidisciplinary. It will come in medicine also, it will come in psychology also, it will come in sociology also. So that is multidisciplinary. Next is development involves growth, maintenance, and regulation. These three words, I seriously liked it. So means why we are developing? Developing is for growth, for maintenance, and for regulation of your life. So that whole life actually, we are spending each minute just for the growth, maintenance, and regulation of our life. And that's why development is happening. So this whole life we are spending for these three words: growth, maintenance, and regulation. So that's what development involves. So next is development is embedded in history. Means what you have seen. History means whatever has happened. So what you have seen, accordingly development will occur. History influences the development. So what you have seen, that if I tell that person, I have seen that person talking like that, then this happened. So you know that if I talk that way, this might happen. So your development will change accordingly. So historical conditions influence the development of a person or development of a society, development of people, group of people. Then normative age-graded influence means that age, that kind of development is supposed to happen. That is particular age group, there is particular type of development. Like in the puberty age, they are supposed to get puberty. In menopause age, they are supposed to get menopause. That is physical development, I'm telling. Again, we expect that a child of like 5 to 6 years, they should know this much of alphabet. That is age-related normal development. So then is normative history graded influences. Means again, something happened that can lead to that kind of development. Something happened in the history, they will lead to that kind of development in not one person, but in whole society. Like that's a corona. Corona is a big history thing. So future will develop accordingly. We don't know still. So we can just speculate or we can just assume these kind of things can happen, but obviously it's going to change. So now development is going to little change according to post-corona period. Then there are non-normative events that also influences the lifespan development. The person was going normally, how the development of them. So suddenly this 9/11 happened. So life changed after that. So development also changed after that. People who were like fearless, they started getting fear. Now I will not go to that area. That is like, so that is also one kind of development is your mindset. So if something happens in the family, now that some near or dear one or someone who was the money earning person of the family, they die. So obviously there will be financial constraint. Also there will be emotional constraint. So development changes. So these are the characteristics of development. So you can know that how the development is going to happen in any person or a group of persons. Next is facts of development. So these are the facts. We know that if development is happening, this way the development will happen. So like development is, I told you that critical period of development is in the child. So we have to consider the pattern of development. For that, we should know the facts of development. So there is early foundations are critical. Again, I told you about the attitudes, habits, and pattern of behavior. What is established during the childhood that stays for whole life, not easily changes in the life further. So early foundations are the critical. So we should always try to make sure that the child has good attitude, good habit, and good pattern of behavior, because later that is only going to continue. Okay. So that is early foundations are critical. That is one fact of development. We have to remember it. Then there is a role of maturation and learning in development. So there is significant role of maturation and learning. Means there is inherent traits in a person's body or person's mind, but maturation causes the development of those inherent traits by some experience and by some effort on the individual part. So maturation provides a raw material for learning. It means there is what is inherent trait that will grow further. How it will grow, that depends on the experience and effects of the person. That is one fact. Next is development follows a definite and predictable pattern. Here it is said that there is law like cephalocaudal law. Cephalo bole to head, caudal bole to tail. So head to tail means from up to down the development occurs. It does not occur from down to up. So when you see that, the first thing to develop is brain. Second thing will develop is your thorax, means your chest area, means your heart, your lungs, those things will develop. Then next will develop your other organs, stomach, kidneys, liver, those things will develop. And then the limbs, means your legs and hands will develop. So this is cephalocaudal law. Always development occurs from the top, then goes to bottom. Okay. Next law is proximodistal law. Proximo means near to the center of your body. Means always the center of the body will develop, then the outwards it starts developing. The central part will develop, then outwards it will go. So always the body will develop, again the hands and feet are outward. So they develop later. So that is the definite pattern and predictable pattern of development. Physical development will happen like that. Motor development will have, intellectual development also, and speech development also. They also have fixed pattern. You know that you cannot make a small child tell that all those twinkle twinkle to start. They will say baba mama only. That is fixed pattern. That's how they have to go for the speech development. Then next fact is all individuals are different. You cannot put everyone in the same mold, because all the developments are happening due to variety of factors, and factors are so different among different people. Even same sibling, even the identical twins are different. They might be born same, but their development will not be same. So all individuals are different, and we have to accept this for smooth running of a society. Next is, each phase of development has characteristic behavior. If you give same problem to different age groups, they will take it differently, because each age group, each phase of development, they have different type of characteristics. Or sometimes you will know that if I give this to this age person, how are they going to behave? Because you already have seen that age person to behave that way. So each phase has characteristic behavior. And there are hazards in each phase, different kind of hazards. Like when they are childhood, there is chances of falling. Like infancy, there is chance of falling, there is chance of trauma. In the childhood, there is chance of abuse. Those are the hazards. In adulthood, there are chance of a health hazards. There were like in old age, there is more hazard of health. So there are hazards in each phase, and they have different kind of. Some in like teenage and early adulthood, there is psychological trauma, emotional hazards. They are highly peer pressure will be there. So there are different kinds of hazards in each phase, not same hazard in all the phases. Then development is aided by stimulation. Means when normally some person is, obviously everyone is developing. If you give some stimulation, if you give criticism, that is also one stimulation. If you give compliment, that is also one stimulation. If you give good nutrition, that is also stimulation. So development is aided by stimulation. So if you give something, the development will change. It may increase, it may decrease, but whatever, it will change. Then again, cultural changes affect the development. A person who was in some kind of culture, if they go to some other place, the development will change. Okay, so cultural changes, they also affect the development. Then early stage has every stage has social expectations. We cannot say that old, like a young person, 20, 25 years, to sit on the road and cry, oh, I want this toy. Obviously not, because that stage does not have social expectation. But same thing is done by a 5-year-old child sitting on the road crying, oh, I want this toy. Okay, that is normal for that age. So each stage has different type of social expectations. And if the individual is successful in fulfilling those expectations, then we say that, yeah, it is well developed. Then there are traditional beliefs. That is also one fact, that psychological and physical characteristics always affect the judgments of others, how this person is going to be, as well as the person's self also. They understand that this is, I think I'm like that, I think I'm introvert kind of thing. So these are traditional beliefs, which is also a fact of development. Okay. So next, we are going to talk about research methods for lifespan development. So obviously, whatever study we do is scientific study, and for every study, we need a research method. So what are the different methods, how we study the lifespan development? So one is longitudinal method. which is most cumbersome method. Means you take one child and or you take a group of people and you follow them for a period of time. This is very good method actually to see their development. Means the child was 5 years old, how the child was. When it was 15 years old, how was it? When it was 25, then how was it? That is good method, longitudinal method. Only drawback is like the researcher has to be alive to study the development of that person. That should not like पहले ही ऊपर निकल लिए तो development कौन देखेगा. So longitudinal method is like you have to study a group of kids or study a group of people for a period of time. That is longitudinal method of study. Next is cross-sectional method of study. Means you see at one day, today only. Today you give some particular problem to different age groups and see their behavior in that. That is cross-sectional method. In one day, seeing for a typical pattern of development of different age. That is cross-sectional method of study. That is the simplest study. You will finish off in a short time only.
Now continue.
Like you give mango. You give mango to a 5-year-old. You give mango to a 15-year-old. You give mango to a 25-year-old. You give mango to a 35-year-old. And you see how they eat. So you know that behavior pattern, eating behavior pattern of different age group. In that day only you will know the cross-sectional method of study of eating pattern. So that is one study. Next is sequential method, which combines the longitudinal and cross-sectional method. Here you take some traits and you take some group and you see for those traits or those development traits for a short period of time. So this is best, Ante. So you can go for some time and you could see for that development rate for short period. And because you are following for a time, so you will know the development happening in that people. Then there is time lag method. Again, here the too many people are required and it takes a long time. Means you see the effect of historical events on behavior. So again, you have to go for some different years, you see them. Like you saw them at 5 years, again you see at 18 years, and you find out that what all happened in between and how the changes in the development happened because of that. So this is time lag method. Means you continuously, you don't watch this, you see sometimes, then you don't see, then again you see. That is time lag method. So these are different methods. So what are the problems? Studying the lifespan development. We are doing the research method. There are various research methods. Then what is the problem in this research method study? So one is representative sample. You won't get proper sample only. They won't be agreeing to give you their history. They may not tell you. It is obviously talking. You have to give the questionnaire. They may not give you the correct answer, or they may face, no, I will not talk. Even kids are young, then parents will only not allow. They will not give consent for the test or for the research method. So one is that representative sample. That is difficult to get in representative sample. Next is establishing rapport with the subject. Suppose you got some sample, but if you talk very plainly, obviously it is psychology. They will not tell you. They may feel shy. They may not give you correct data. So that's why establishing rapport with the subject is another obstacle. Then there is appropriate methodology, like what you were going to ask or what you are going to learn. You may not be using the correct method to get what you want to know. So that's why that is another obstacle in getting. Again, cultural changes may play a major role in learning the development of a subject. Then accuracy of data. So because different people have different type of intelligence, so data may change. So you may not get accurate data. That is another problem in getting. And again, data may vary for different age levels. Again, I had told that each individual is different. So data may vary each individually. Then next is ethical aspect. Some people may not be good in talking about many things, like their social relationships, like their sexuality. So things, these are ethical aspects. So you may not get consent of the child. You may not get the consent of the parent. You may not get the consent of the adult to talk about there. So these are ethical aspects. Some things you are not supposed to talk in some societies. So that is the problem. So you may not get the correct picture. These are the various obstacles in the study of the lifespan development. Ashte, thank you. I finished the class.
Thank you, Anju.
Thank you, Anju.
Stop recording.
Was fun.